Hey everybody, who's your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm reviewing the movie Hitman Agent 47. I just happened to catch part of this movie on a TV that I was nearby several days ago, and there was some decent action sequences going on. So I thought, well, what the heck? So I went and got the movie out of the local library, watched it, and that brings us to this point. Now, I need to get up front that I've never played any of the Hitman games, and I really know very little about them. So uh, let's have that up front. So, first things first, as always with movies, we're just going to kind of talk about things in general, and then I'll talk about at the end some spoilery stuff. So, did I like this movie? I mean, it's okay. Um, as basically the things I liked about it is the things are I do like to see action movies that are set in foreign countries. Like I mean, here we have stuff that happens in Hong Kong. I'm sorry, Singapore and in Berlin, which is kind of cool. Um, Zachary Quinto, really good, talented actor. Very good at playing a villain, and he's definitely one of the high points of this movie. But he's not really given the greatest material to work with. Um, And I do like that there are one or two ideas in the movie that are genuinely rather clever, but it really doesn't seem like they're fully realized very well. And just in terms of what's going on with the character, I'm not really sure why we even had Katya in this movie. It just she didn't really feel like she was even really that necessary to the plot. I mean, if the movie is called Hitman Agent 47, I would expect Agent 47 to be the main character, and everything is going to be focused around him, not him not really having a co-star, and at times, in my book, kind of playing second fiddle to somebody else. And I even had to go and look up Katya's name just because I couldn't even remember it after having watched the movie. I forgot it that quickly. She just really did not register that strongly with me as a character. Now, not that 47 really fares much better, but he at least has an interesting point of view on the world that is occasionally expressed and kind of feeds into what I mentioned as being some of those interesting ideas. Um, Now, another criticism that I have of this movie is that you see a lot of, and I don't really consider this a spoiler. You see, Hitman, 47, and Katya fighting both. Basically, the goons are basically divided into guys in business suits and people wearing tactical armor with assault weapons. And the guys in business suits have handguns. The amount of challenge presented by these people is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if they're taking on a dude in a suit or a guy in tactical armor with an assault weapon. It's just as easy to take out one or the other, which seems ridiculous to me. I mean, yeah, 47 is majorly badass, and Katya is no slouch herself, as we eventually discover. But still, it's just kind of seems ridiculous to me that these guys can't put up the guys in like tactical body armor with assault weapons do not present a little bit more of a challenge to people who are just wearing ordinary clothing. Now, I mean, yes, there are not exactly normal folks, but still. And there's a really thing I really like is I don't think it ever takes more than one bullet to kill any random bad guy in this movie. I mean, I'm just sort of watching all this as like guys in tactical body armor getting taken down by one bullet from a handgun. Now, I guess, I mean, he's a hitman and all of this, so maybe he shoots armor piercing bullets. I don't know. Again, I don't really know the lore of these games. But it's just like, seriously, one bullet to take out all these guys. And again, it seems like these guys should do a better job of putting up a fight because it really never feels like there's anything that's really significantly challenging. Even Zachary Quinto's character, whose name I don't even remember. Like Agent 47 is the only character's name in this movie that I actually remember, and his name is the title of the movie. Um, it's also exactly what 47's goals are in this movie are very muddled. We ultimately do get some reasonable explanation as to at least part of what he was doing by the end of the film, but there's still a lot of like, who's this Asian lady that she's talking to? Why does he do what she says? Who is she to him? I mean, I get that she's sort of like a handler or something, but like, who does she work for? Why? I mean, why is this guy even bothering to be a hitman if he can? Okay, again, keep in mind I don't know the lore of these games and I don't particularly care. Let's see what else. As I said, I did like that these are set in interesting foreign countries. I kind of wish they'd played around with that a little bit more. Sort of worked with the locales a little bit. Like Captain America: Civil War did a really nice job of playing around and sort of letting you see a lot of different places. Like you see stuff that was in Africa. You see a lot of location stuff that from like places where the story takes place in a good chunk of it in Germany. And I mean, the superheroes basically, even in the movie, basically destroy the Leipzig airport. So I mean, all of that was kind of cool. Here, you just have some nice visual shots of these places, but it's just sort of like I kind of wish we'd played around with this more and let it sort of soak in that we are in a very different place, a very foreign place um, than the U.S. So let's see what else. Um, I suppose that's basically all that I can kind of say without getting into spoiler territory. So let's kind of move on to that then. So let's go with here's, if you don't want any spoilers, here's your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so one of Katya is basically kind of, in my mind, one of the biggest problems with this movie. And I mean, it's all really from a writing perspective. I mean, there's stuff like, one, it's stated that her mother is supposed to have been from Sri Lanka. Okay, if you've ever seen what people from Sri Lanka look like, and I have, you look at this actress, and it's just like, no way in hell is this lady part Sri Lankan. She's basically looks like your standard issue British white lady. And then there's the whole thing with her past, where her dad, the geneticist, basically performed the same sort of experiments on her that gave the hitmen, the agents, all their enhanced abilities. And then her mom gets killed, and he sort of basically hides her in a sewer when she's a toddler, and then she never sees him again. Now, granted, she's supposed to have all these like enhanced mental capacities and stuff, but she was left by her dad in a sewer at an age when she could barely walk, much or talk. Um, how did she even get her name? Who raised her? What is this lady's deal exactly? Where does she come from? I mean, it's just never really explained beyond that. I mean, it's even said that her name, the name that she was raised under, was basically how you say 90 in French. Well, again, who the hell raised her, and why would her father conveniently give her a name that is basically 90 in French? I mean, if you want your daughter to have kind of a normal name, why do that? Why not just give her a standard name? Why do something weird like that? And then there's other stuff like where she takes off her top and goes swimming for no particular reason. I mean, you don't see anything. It's not that type of a movie, but it's just like, well, that was completely gratuitous. And then there's the whole thing where she says she takes Agent 47's guns while he's sleeping right next to his guns. So apparently this badass assassin dude will not notice if somebody tries to come up to him while he is sleeping and take his guns. Which you think if you're a hitman, you might want to be a little bit more alert, and that the people who genetically designed you to be this super hitman would sort of make light sleeper kind of be part of the package deal. And then not only does she take his guns, she takes them apart, and then it's just faintly, it's like, why did you do that? Oh, I take things apart when I get nervous. And this has never come up before, and it's never relevant again. It's just stupid Deus Ex Machina to have Agent 47 have to fight without his guns, and he suffers no particular difficulty in doing that. This cup, incidentally, I chose to drink out of while doing this video, is actually since I chose that because part of the movie is set in Germany. This cup is actually from Germany, West Germany. So it was made back in the olden days when there was still such a place as West Germany. I like it for the historical significance of it all. Anyway, um, let's see what else. Um, yeah, the whole jet engine escape thing that Katya does. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, lady, you would have already been pulled into the jet engine, but at this point, that's not how jet engines work. Just a second, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah, you can tell I don't edit these videos, do it? Right there. So, hang on, I think I got another one coming on. Summer allergies, man, I tell you. Okay, so getting back into things, as I was saying, one thing I did like is that there is a little bit of a moment in the story where Katya and Agent 47 sort of talk about their views on life, and 47 is very much, you are who you are. People can't change. This is who I am, because of the way I was created and raised, and being this hitman sort of person. That's just my lot in life, and it can't be changed. Katya's like, well, no, you can kind of be who you choose to be. And what's interesting is the main corporate bad guy of Syndicate International. Oh well, there's completely no subtlety at all with that name. Basically, briefly even espouses the same idea that people, we are who we are, and people can't change. So the idea that the main villain of the movie and the main hero, or perhaps you should say protagonist, actually share the same philosophical views is pretty interesting, but the movie never really does anything with it. Another good thing is about the movie is that by the end of it, you're kind of left with the question of, okay, did 47 actually really care about Katya at all, or was everything he did just sort of manipulating her so that he could pull off his contract? And if you'd frame that differently, that could have been a very interesting idea, especially to leave the movie's ending with. But it doesn't. It's just sort of like, well, okay, that's clever, but it doesn't really seem properly realized. And then the thing at the end where Agent 48 shows up, and it's just like, wait, what? Oh, and then there's something going on with Zachary Quinto's character, who I guess is supposed to be a reference to some character from the games. But it's just sort of like, yeah, I don't really believe that being electrocuted like that would do that to a person. But so yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about this movie. There are some nice moments in it, but for the most part, it's really a pretty underdone, undercooked action movie that's really, really forgettable. So, with that said, guys, I'm going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, subscribe, and of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and also please join me on Tumblr at Jedi Reviewer. Till next time, take care and have a good one.